tell me, how does it feel to be back in the neighborhood?
Through that hope, civilians are governed in America's largest city.
Do we have any information on why this is happening?
We're really just looking to figure out how and why this is happening.
Clearly that's the goal. Well, since you don't remember, I'm gonna help you out.
I'm trying to protect you!
You tell him to call me when he gets in.
You have no idea what you put your foot in.
Tony, what happened? That's me with all that. We are who we are, Jude.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Jay Hen, Pastor Jay. Welcome to the next episode of Kingdom Conversations, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, everywhere our show is. Thank you guys for showing us so much love. As you guys can see in here, I got so much crazy, amazing things happening this summer. I'm making my acting debut in a new movie called Flashes. It's crazy. I can't wait to tell y'all about the premiere and all that. I want y'all to pull up. And I'm launching my music group, y'all. All Things Music Group. My first artist, Alex Sales. Her single is dropping July 16th. It's crazy. We start our radio campaign for her today. I'm just excited about what God is doing, man. And I'm just so blessed to be in the vein. But today ain't about me. Today ain't about me. This dude is my brother, but I'm going to call him an icon because that's what he is to me. He's an inspiration to me. And let me just tell you a little bit about him. He launched Platinum Boy Music in 2000. And his discography is crazy. Listen, y'all, I don't know too many people that can outwork me, but I'm looking at everything my man is doing, and I'm just like, yo, when does this guy sleep, man? He's a published author. They just named the street after him. He's a social media mover and shaker, not just an influencer. He's a mover and a shaker. He's one of my favorite drummers. He's a musical director. I mean, he's on TV every other day. It's crazy. Listen, I don't want to talk no more. I want to bring him to the stage. I got everything. I can read all this stuff, but man, later for that. Let's get my man to the stage, my brother, King Amadeus. What up, King?
My brother, man, I appreciate you. You see me, you got me smiling ear to ear. I'm honored to be here. I'm happy. First off, the intro, the theme music is fire. So I was in, the theme song is rocking. So the theme song was rocking, and then right after that, I saw the movie, and I said, "Wait a minute, Big Bro, the movie?"
Yeah,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? Then I see, Queen Sales and
the
record. And then you announce, you dropping the music group. So before we even give flowers to me, before I'm even let you talk, I don't follow no rules. So before you even get into me and talk, I want to honor you, my brother. I want to honor you. Just thinking back as a musician, as a drummer, as a young king that grew up in the church, you are legendary to the musician world, to the music world. It was us little dudes that was sitting on the side, glued, to everything like kings like you that you were doing musically that inspired us, to be who we are today, my brother. So I've never gotten an opportunity to give you your flowers, give you your roses. You always been showing love to me. But again, before we even talk about me, I want to just let you know how influential you are to me, the culture, the musician world, in all genres, not just gospel, in all genres. And more importantly, you've always been an amazing dude, you know, a humble dude, an amazing dude, the same, consistent. Wherever we see one another, it's all love, no matter whether it's online, whether it's in person. So thank you for being you. Congrats to everything you have going on. Congrats to just you being a man of God, man, and having integrity and moving in the right way. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you know, wear the cloth, but they don't really live the life and represent God the way he's supposed to be represented, but you do. So thank you, my brother. I'm honored to be here, honored to hear all of the things that you said about me coming from you. So we here and ready to have this conversation, my brother.
My man, King Amadeus. And yo, it's just amazing for me to see everything that you're doing and how life pivots, man, because growing up, I was an inspiration. Now we're both grown men, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, yo, you really can take this to so many different levels and plateaus. And, you know, we have so much in common. We both play drums, do music, both published authors. But when I saw you get that street named after you, I was like, yo, I'm not working hard enough. I got to get back to work. I got to get back to work, man.
You know what's crazy? I actually went, I took my son yesterday. We went to a Yankees game, right? And I'm talking about it for first. Like, we went to a Yankees game yesterday, and I was like, "Yo, let's pull up to the sign, and we're going to get footage of me pulling up to the sign, looking at the sign, and walking to Yankee Stadium, and walking inside Yankee Stadium, right?" And it's such a moment, bro. Like, I'm still honestly taking it in. Like, I'm still taking it in. We parked right on the street, like where it's at. So when we left the game, I got to see it in the nighttime, and it's on a lamppost. So that lamppost is lit. Wow. So the sign is lit, and that was like a whole nother lens to see it from a spiritual sense. Yeah. And I looked at my son, and I was like, "Yo, this is to see it at night is crazy." Like, it's bugged out, bro. It's bugged out, man.
Big congrats on that, man. That is huge. And for somebody that may have been living under a rock that don't know who you are, just tell us from your heart, who's King Amadeus? Who are you, bro?
You know, that's a serious question. That's a serious question. First off, man of God, son, brother, father, king. You know, and you know, when you think of king, I've always grew up looking at like Gladiator and you know, all of those type of movies and Game of Thrones, and like I really considered myself a king, and I didn't like how those kings in those days, not passing judgment, but like I didn't like how they conducted themselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? They took advantage of people, they harmed people, and I'm like, just because you wear a crown and you're in charge and you're the ruler, you can do that in a real positive, impactful way. Absolutely. You know, so when I started calling, I mean, this is maybe like 10, 15 years ago when I was calling myself king and greeting you at my brothers as kings. It wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm not saying I'm starting nothing, but I'm just saying like that was the idea where it's like, I don't want to call my brothers niggas. Like, I don't want to use that. We're not niggas. We're kings. We're brothers. We're men. So that's kind of where the whole King Amadeus come from, and me greeting you as a brother, as a king. But, you know, a man of respect, a man of integrity, God-fearing, a man that recognized the gifts and talents that God has blessed me with. And, you know, fearless, man. Fearless. I'm from the Bronx, so big Bronx energy. And, you know, a person that understood the assignment, a person that recognized the gift and the calling musically and said, I'm not going to stop until, you know, I give God the glory in what I do. And I become, as you said, not me, as you said, the icon that I can be considered today, you know. So that's out for that. That's a real question too. You know, that's the real question. I'm
gonna say the truth though, Amadeus. You're the one that got me to stop. And I never told you this. You're the one that got me to stop calling my boys nigga. Wow. Because every time you greet me, you like, yo, what up, King? And at first, because you know who we got into it with? I don't mean to call him out, but our brother Teddy Campbell.
Okay.
Teddy Campbell we was at a spot, and matter of fact, we was at Alan and me. He was talking to some of the younger guys, and one of them greeted him like, "Yo, what up, King?" He's like, "Yo, don't call me that."
Really?
And I was just eavesdropping because he was like, "Yo, only one that deserved that title is Jesus." And I said, "Well, brother, the book says that he's the King of Kings.
Correct.
So he can't be the only king. He is the king.
Correct.
But there are other kings out here. And once you started greeting me like that, that's the only way I greet brothers now.
Wow.
Like, yo, what up, King? What up,
Yeah,
King?
man.
Your influence, it goes beyond music, bro, because that's building community and that's building and changing the culture. So for me, you did start it because I never even thought to address my brothers like that because I'm from Cypress Hill Project. You know,
Yes,
what
sir.
up, it ain't nothing negative to us.
Right.
But when you think about the connotation of that word and where it comes from and, you know, the abusiveness and the, you know, the hurt that our people developed and had to go through because of that word.
Yes, sir.
Changing my lingo was a no-brainer for me. I was like, and then it just gives us a more regal approach when we're dealing with each other. And
Absolutely.
honestly, it makes me even perceive my brothers different.
Yes,
you know
sir. Yes, sir.
We deal on a higher level of honor.
Yes,
when
sir.
I'm talking with people and dealing. So thank you for that, brother, because you definitely you're the only reason why I stopped that because that was my go-to. Like, yo, what up, nigga?
Right.
What it do, nigga? You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
what we
was
used to,
all
bro. It's
yeah.
what we used to. It's what
But
we used
when
to.
I heard you
we
say
know.
that, I was like, nah, I'm gonna follow King over there.
That's
So,
hard. That's fire,
yeah,
bro. Man,
but,
that's crazy.
yeah, it's huge. And I see you flexing on us a little bit. I see the wall. I see the wall. I see the wall. And I want to let you know, bro, I celebrate everything that you are doing, everything that you have done. When I see you out in the streets, man, I'm just like, yo, get them, bro. Because I want you to talk. How did you know that it was bigger than the drums? Because growing up in church, you know, everybody started on the drums.
Yeah.
That plays keys, play bass. We all started on the drums. But I watched how you strategically pivot yourself. And you don't allow yourself to be locked in. There's a lot of younger cats that's going to be watching this. I want you to just vibe out a little bit on how you knew how to pivot and when it was time to pivot.
Right. I love that question. Even as a little kid, I just envisioned just big. You know what I mean? Big. And whether it's the church, because, you know, God bless her soul, Bishop Michelle White, her vision was the same.
Yeah.
Like whatever we do, we're gonna do it big. We're gonna, you know, that's why when, you know, look at the size of the church. Like that joint was an old movie theater. So for me, that's like the first stadium I played in. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I visualize things. And I got it like that. I saw it like that as a kid. You know, me growing up in the Bronx, me growing up in the projects, you know, really tough neighborhood. My only outlet was school and church. That was the only thing my parents allowed me to do. So it was how I escaped. I love playing, and it turned into, you know, a hobby and just playing into something that I loved and was passionate about. And I, you know, always watched Video Music Box and look at all the music videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would sit there and dream like, yo, one day I want to drive that car. Like one day I want to live in that house. One day I want to wear that. I want to, you know, I want to drive that. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I sat there and did. But musically, I always took in what was happening. Like, yo, that's really dope. I started rapping at first. It's like, but when I started playing and learning the musicianship of things, that's kind of like, well, what if I started producing? Like, what if I started like making beats and making songs? And that was kind of like what I started doing alongside, you know, being a musician and playing. But I've always thought really big, and people obviously would never understand our vision because, you know, God didn't give them the vision, that God gave us the vision. So when I would talk big, like, you know, one day I'm gonna play Madison Square Garden. One day, you know, play in front of thousands. You know, one day I'm gonna produce for Jay-Z and Busta and this, and I said it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was walking around saying this, and people was looking at me like I was nuts, and was like, "Bro, you from the Bronx? You from 169th in Washington, bro? Like, not doing that." But for me, I was in my heart, my head, my little brain. That's a youngin'. I believed everything. You know? So when it came time to transition, then it's very difficult. you know, and it was very difficult. And I love that you asked this because, you know, Bishop was hot. Bishop was mad. And it started out as, you know, when I met Trey, we met Trey in the studio. We were working on the song, drum set in the corner real quick. And I was like, yo, I'll play drums. And it was him and Mike Jones. And they both laughed. And I was like, what? Like, he's like, play drums. I said, that's how I make beats. Like the drummer first.
Right.
But Trey, first album out, just got here. I'm like, bro, you making real soulful music. You gonna need a band. When you need a band, holla. Right?
Yeah.
Went back to the session, finished the song. Everybody went their separate ways. A year later, got a call from his manager. Shout out to Delonte Murphy. He was like, yo, you ready to put the band together? And I was like, nah, I don't know how to put no band together. I just said that to him. You know what I'm saying? Because the drum set was in there. And, you know, that was that. I never expected him to call. You know, people say they're going to do stuff.
Convention talk.
And he called. And I was like, all right. So I called Butters, you know, and guys from the church that I play with was like, yo, Trey got a show in the city. You know, let's go rock out and do the show. Did the show. They called a week later and was like, you want to do another show? It's like, all right, cool. Yeah. Did that show. Called back a week later and was like, y'all want to go on tour? We was like, yeah, okay. Finished that. Right after finishing that, y'all want to go open up for Jay-Z? Okay. So it went from one show to not coming home for like 13 years. Like,
that's a run. That's a run, bro.
Yo, 13 years, hard body, 13 years. I mean, we've been together for 17, but like we had a run where we were just consistently on the road. And I remember Bishop, I went to her office and she was like, so you're going to take my whole band? You know, and you know, that was Bishop, but that's Ma to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all day.
I'm like, Mom, I didn't know. I had no idea it was going to be all this. Yeah. We just did the show. These are my brothers. We all, as musicians, dream of playing the secular world, just being 1,000 big arenas and all of this. And it was an opportunity for us to do that. Why would I call up a group of cats that I don't know? Why would I call on my brothers? We go do this together and live our dreams together. So that was the idea. And she got it for like 2 seconds. But she was like, you still took my band. Right. My full band. Like, so it wasn't the easiest transition, but that's what it was. And I just, you know, I don't want to go, you know, I don't want to over talk, but that was definitely the transition. Like I said, it was pretty difficult. And that just kind of opened up the doors in my eyes in so many different areas and different things. And I just kind of attacked different areas and different roles because I learned about being on the road. When you're not on the road, then what? Right. Like, what are you doing? Right. You know, okay, if you're not producing and you're not the hottest dude or female in the world making records and you're going, you know, kind of get ice cold for a little bit, what are you doing? Right. So that's why when we wear so many different hats, often motivational speaker, go to speak to schools, music education, touring, residency in Vegas, playing at the church, producing. It's like, because you just never know where something to dry up and you want to have your eggs spread out in as many baskets as possible.
Because I think that's so important, because I don't believe that God gave us all these gifts for us to tuck them and hide them. Correct. And I tell people all the time, like, the reason why I do all that I do is because I can do it. Like, I'm not going to be like that dude that got the one talent and took it and hid it. You know what I'm saying? If God gave it to me, I believe it's our responsibility to double down on it and stretch it as far as you can go. And bro, you stretching it, man. I mean, dude. when I'm looking at Amadeus, I'm serious. I'm like, yo, I don't know too many people that got the work ethic that I got. But bro, I need to come take a class from you. Like, yo, when do you sleep, man? When do you sleep, bro? It's like, you're always doing something, man.
Always.
It's crazy.
And it's like I'm the wrong person to not like. Like, for anybody who has any issues with me, you gotta stay far away from me because you're gonna see me everywhere. Right. So it's either you love me or you don't, and if you don't, I feel bad. It's just like, I'm sorry, man, but you're gonna see me everywhere. You'll be doing everything everywhere. And I've always been like that, man. And I think that comes from, you know, growing up watching my dad take care and provide for their family and just seeing him being independent, you know, to then, you know, when they were no longer together, seeing my mom move independently, see him moving independently. So it was a certain hustle and a certain cloth that I'm cut from, even with Bishop, you know, just seeing how she hustle and all of the different things that she does and built. And so I'm just used to seeing that around me. And I've always had that thing of like, no one's going to outwork me. Like, that's why it's kind of impossible for me to have a manager, because if you're not working as hard as me or near me, we're going to have a problem. And it's like, if I ask you to do something and it takes you 3 days to do that, that's an issue.
Can I tell you something? Yo, bro, you just answered a question I've been asking myself for the past 12 years. Because everybody that tries to manage me, we get into this thing where they're either I'm pissed off with them or they feel like I don't need them because I'm still rolling and I'm not waiting on you to get me no gig. I'm not
correct.
And I'm like, yo, why can't I find a good manager?
Bruh.
Bro, you just answered my question. I
haven't had one I would always start, it will start cool, you know, and then it's just a work ethic that we have. And it's like, if I'm going to pay you a percentage of what I'm making, you got to put and it's not discrediting, because, you know, there's a lot of managers that really do what it do. And it's just a level of urgency that we have when it comes to what we do. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to send these folders out today, or I'm going to, you know, work on this today. And I sit there, whether I want to sit there and do it or not, but I'm going to sit there and I'm going to get it done. And I'm gonna, you know, and that's what it is. You know, when it's not your gift. Wow. And this is not everybody. This is because there's amazing representatives out here. There's amazing executives, amazing managers, lawyers. Like, I got to hit my lawyer today. Like, why is it taking 3 months to do a producer agreement? What are we talking about? I watched Jay-Z sign Rihanna in a day. Yeah. It took a few hours, but I remember, I never forget it. And I always share that, like, yo, why is it taking a month to get this agreement done? Is this a producer agreement? It's not an artist deal. Right. Like, we're not signing the whole world. It's a producer agreement for one song. 2 months, 3 months. What are we doing? Yeah. So that's man. And that's the thing where it's like, it's our gift, man. It's our gift. It's our talents, and it depends on what the motivation is for the man. Right. Why you here? What's your why? Yeah. Of course, everybody wants to make money. Right. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to get to the bag. Everybody got families to feed. Absolutely. But do you believe in what God gave me? Do you believe in the gifts and the talents that I have? Do you see yourself being able to take that to the next 25 levels with everything that you have within you to do that? Like, that's the questions that you got to ask when, you know, sitting down with managers. It's like, it's not about a paycheck. No. Because even 20% ain't a lot of money. I mean, unless you get millions and millions and billions, cool. But like, it's not a lot of money. So what are you in this for? Absolutely. And that's the great thing, because I've had some, again, they're amazing people, but that work ethic, if it's not matching, it's going to be frustration. Absolutely. Conflict, and, you know, it's going to be a collision. And I'm real big on maintaining relationships. Yeah. And I would rather step back from one another if we're not going to really build to the next level. Because I know me, and once I get that tunnel vision, I'm a beast. Absolutely. And I'm talking crazy. I'm like, yo, get away from me. Like, you, I don't mean it, bro. It's like, yo, I don't mean it, but I just know that I got, you know, especially at this age, for me, I'm no longer chasing destiny. I already know what I'm supposed to do. Now I'm hunting legacy, bro. And that's a different grind. Because I got grandkids now, bro. You know, my grandson, young king. I gotta pass this all to him now. You know what I'm saying? Sir. So I gotta make sure that I make it real difficult for him to be mediocre. So I set the bar that high and showing him, like, yo, you a black man. You would come from the ghetto. I did. You don't have to stay in the ghetto. I didn't. Right. You can have a nice car. You can live nice. You can travel. You can see the world. And that's my ending is going to be his beginning. So I don't got time to play, man. Right. Yeah. I don't got time to play around at all. Because before it was just me, but now I got 3 daughters, 3 grandkids. Matter of fact, 5 grandkids now, because my daughter done got into a beautiful relationship with a dude that got 2 beautiful twins, and I love them just like their minds. Absolutely. So the family is expanding. So
But that's the beauty of being a man, because feeling that weight is why I get up in the morning, man. It makes me stay creative. It makes the juices keep flowing, because I'm like, yo, it's not about me no more. Because I done been everywhere. I done seen the world. Been to the top of the Eiffel Tower 5 times already. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But what about my seed coming behind me? I got to make sure that they see that and then some. So salute to your grind, man, because I love it.
Thank you, my brother.
And I'm glad that you touched on the fact that you did come from church.
Yeah.
Because there's a big debate going on amongst musicians. Should guys that come from the church play secular music? Because I dipped and dabbed in it, and I didn't have no issues. I played for Faith, Lost Boys, Cannabis, you know what I'm saying? And my tours with them, I didn't go out there and wild out. I still love God. I didn't come back a drug addict.
Right.
So, you know, we do know some horror stories though about some cats that went out there and got messed up. But what's your word of advice to the younger cats that may want to do what you're doing, but getting that feedback from the church? Because believe it or not, there's still some pastors that's preaching that you belong here in the church and nowhere else.
Right.
How did you get the guts to go out there and say, I'm not going to pay attention to that because I know there's something bigger?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a rebel, man. You know, me growing up in the hood.
Me too.
Like, and Bishop knew. She knew, man. I was out of control, bro. Like, I'm pulling up to the church. You know, I'm driving up to the church, blasting Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Blasting Biggie and Puff, and you know, not blasting it. I'm pulling up in the church parking lot, windows rolled down, playing Jay, like, which I'm a front. Nah, this is what I love. Like, this is what I love. This is what I create. This is what I make, and I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. I'm not gonna be the dude that's gonna act as if I'm something or someone else. No, this is me. You want me here?
Right.
This is what I'm bringing to the. This is what I'm bringing to the table, because I can choose to be out there, but at the end of the day, as a shepherd, you're gonna do whatever it takes to keep me and to keep your sheep in the house, regardless of how horrific they are, how bad they are, how much of a rebel. Like, because for me, it was just the music. I never did drugs. You know, wasn't smoking, wasn't drinking, never smoked weed a day in my life. Like, and I'm from the hood. I listen to all of these dudes, right? My advice was the music. I love hip hop, right? So it was nothing that no one can say to me to get to steer me away from my dream. Like, these are my dreams. Like, you know, so at the end of the day, with all due respect, as my pastor, as my leader, as my bishop, can't tell me nothing about the dreams God gave me. You can't. There's nothing you can say to get me to say, okay, no, you don't do that because God didn't. So why is he putting this in my heart? Why am I going to sleep every single night having this same dream about me being here and playing here and producing here? Why am I allowed to see these visions if this is not the call that's all my life or what I'm supposed to be doing? So that was my way of thinking, man. So when you ask me, I'm the wrong guy to ask, because
now you the right one.
Because all I have is the truth and nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth, man.
You did it and took off, bro.
It's a job.
Yeah.
Do we love it? Yes. Are we passionate about it? Yes. Is it a gift? Yes. Is it a talent? Is it a job? It's a job.
Right.
If you worked at McDonald's, the bank, the car dealership, the airport, is that worshiping God? Is that giving God the glory? No. When you take somebody's ticket and scan in that Delta so they can go in or sit in the plane, they're gonna do God. Right. That's a job.
That's a job.
So I would always have this conversation with Bishop, like, it's my job to play drums for Trey Songz. It's like my job. Right? That's one lens. The other lens is Trey's gonna pay me, just throw out a number. Trey's gonna pay me $5,000 a week.
Right.
All I gotta do is the show for 1 hour. I might have 2 shows a week, 3 shows a week, 4 shows a week. Either way, I'm still getting paid $5,000 a week.
Yeah.
Plus per diem.
Right.
Plus I'm eating, I'm getting wardrobe, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't want me to do that? Cool. Match that.
Right.
Match it. Because at the end of the day, we got bills to pay.
Right.
That's the car I want to drive, and I have every right to want to drive that car. That's the house I want to live in. I have every right to say that's the house that I want to own. I want to start that business. I want to do this. I want my kids to have this. And I can do that by going out here on the road and getting paid 5 bands from Trey. Can you match that? can't match that, what are we talking about?
Right.
Third lens. If you want to sin, if you want to do wrong, if you want to do dirt, you can do that anywhere.
Anywhere.
The road ain't first, man. I'm gonna be all the way 1,000, Pastor.
Keep it up, bro. Keep it a buck. Keep it
All
a buck.
right. The stuff I did while at church ain't got nothing with what I did on the road.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And with the church women and with the church girls and ministered that, deacon this, choir leader that, everybody stopped. I actually step further. Whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
I actually behaved properly on the road.
Yeah.
Because I was married at the time. At that time, I was married. I was married at that time, and I didn't play no games. I believed in marriage. I respected marriage. I honored marriage. I proposed at 19 years old. Marriage is what I wanted.
Yeah.
It wasn't no act. Nobody forced me to do that. I was married. So when I was on the road with Trey, I brought her everywhere. The industry knew, my colleagues knew, all of the artists I work with knew, all of the groupies knew.
Right.
It's my wife, bro.
Yeah.
And she here, she gonna be wherever I'm at. And I behaved, and I was, he was on the road with Trey. How did you do that? Easy, because I decided that I wanted to be married. Yeah. And none of these queens out here seeing mine, and I'm good over here.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. I behaved better.
Yeah.
On the road with Trey Songz for the last 13 or 15 years than I did back home in the church. So for all of those that are tuned in, that's trying to judge us for what we do, if you want to sin, if you want to do wrong, if you want to do dirt, you can do that anyway. You can do that right after service. You can do that right after choir rehearsal. You can do that right after prayer day. You can do it right at. You can. Matter of fact, Jay, you want this?
Come on.
You want this? You want this?
Let's go.
Matter of fact, how about this? Let me set everything. Let me set the record straight. Let me shut everything down. I lost my virginity at convention.
Wow.
Everybody all right?
Wow.
Is everybody all right?
Wow.
I lost my virginity at my first church convention. Is everybody all right?
Touch your neighbor and say convention work.
My first.
Wow.
I didn't know nothing about convention. I'm a little kid for the streets. Like, convention, church convention. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I walked up in there, and our church went down Florida. And my church from New York knew me, right?
Yeah.
But we that New York energy went down to Florida, Jay.
No, you already know.
Them little chicks was like,
yeah,
he ain't no church dude. He's from I need that energy. So, listen, man, the moral of the story is, do you, man. People gonna always have something to say. People are gonna always judge you. People are always gonna tell you what's right or wrong. But if God has put something on your heart and led you to believe that that's where your gifts and talents can allow you to go, follow that. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be, you might have a lot of people rooting against you. Mm-hmm. You may not have the level of support that you feel you needed. And that's, and that's what I had to endure. Yeah. You know what I mean? My bishop loved me to life. Will always support, but she's not going to support that. She'll support me and wanting me to be successful and wanting me to be great. Mm-hmm. But she can't come to a Trey Songz concert. She can't come see me play for Chris Brown. She can't, because she has a certain ethic and a certain code that she lives by that she can't tarnish. She loves us. She's happy for us. But and for the pastors, man, it's like you can't hold musicians hostage. Yeah. You cannot do that. Like, because when you do right by them, when you love them, when you support them, when you give them what you're able to give them, and they know for a fact that that's the best you can do, they'll appreciate that, man. They'll appreciate that, and they'll do their little hustle. Another thing, let them hustle. Let them play your service, and let them go play those other 9 services too, because they're trying to eat. Absolutely. Oh, no, you can't play over there. I need you over here. No, let them eat. Let them live. Let them be great. Because when it's time for them to go off, do what they do, they'll always come back. There's no place like home. Like our bishop has gone on to be with the Lord. That's my church home, bro. I'm not like, I'll visit. But that's home. And I'm always going to come back home, regardless. Absolutely. And that's the advantage I think that God gave me when he called me the pastor, because I'm one of us. So my musicians from day one,
I mean, at one point, I had Cedric Mitchell, who's Maxwell's MD, Joe Harley.
Woo.
I had the band of life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there on Sundays like, this is crazy. So when said like, yo, I gotta go out with Max. Bro, please.
Right.
Because what Max is paying you, I cannot.
Right.
So even if I got to go on, and this is to the pastors, this is something I'm giving y'all some free G.
Right.
If you ever get blessed to have musicians of that caliber, there's something on Apple Music called Fruition Music.
Mm.
If you go to Fruition Music, there, my boy Andre Forbes out of Tallahassee, Florida, he creates full-blown worship tracks with background vocals, full band.
Really?
I'm telling you, I did this, bro, for like almost a year straight because my guys was gone. They was on the road. So I'm not going to spaz on them. I said, yo, they got to be something else. And so I tapped into that. And if you got a dope sound engineer,
right,
you know how to do shows like that, you know what I'm saying? Because just like a show, programming the music portion of your service to be a show, this dude does every hot praise and worship song that comes out. And you bring in $1.29. So all pastors, you need to have that in your back pocket anyway.
That's fire.
And yeah, so I did that for a year because my guys, they were all top, 5-star musicians. So I'm gonna tell Said not to go out when Max got a show. I'm gonna tell Joe to tell who was he rocking with at the time? Ludacris, I think.
Yeah.
I can't pay you what Luda's paying you, so go get that bag and I'll see you next week or whenever you get back. You know?
Right.
and to this day, I have an amazing relationship with those guys. They moved on, but to this day, we're all brothers and they're all on my new record. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So again, my thing, Amadeus, is always maintaining relationships, man.
Yes, sir.
So, man, one more thing I got to ask you about the music. Then we're going to pivot to your book, and then I'm going to let you go, man. You've worked with everybody, bro. Everybody. I'm looking at this, and I got to put my readers on because I'm old. But I'm looking at doggone, of course, Chris Brown. We all know that.
Right.
Fetty Wap, Young M.A., Jesus, man, this just goes on and on, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a journey, bro.
Is nuts, bro. And then you did stuff for ESPN and all this theme song, bro. How do you? Because again, I say this, everybody. I just interviewed the Queen, Vanessa Bell Armstrong last week. And I asked her the same thing I'm gonna ask you, man, because I'm never one to promote arrogance or act in a certain way. But if anybody had a right to kind of have that swag, it's you, bro. And how do you stay away from that and operate at such a high level of humility? Because I know when we think humility, we think low. You have to be low to be humble. But you're at a high frequency, bro. But you don't keep it where you're standoffish, you're not Hollywood. And in these spaces, man, you got your residency, you're doing all this stuff. What is it in your mind that says, nah, I gotta stay humble?
Right. I mean, it's the way I've been raised, man. It all started out humble beginnings. You know, I obviously, you lived in the project, so you know the feeling, of going in and out and coming home from church, coming home from school. You got to step in over piss and manure and, the dudes that's hanging in the hallways all day that's, doing drugs or smoking or, they're violent. So I know where I come from. So to arrive to where I'm at today, using the gifts and talents that God has given me is just the best way to be. It's me in my natural form. And just like, we receive blessings and we're able to do what we do in life, it could all come to a halt. It could all come to a stop. We've known some of the best musicians in the world that's, sitting home, twiddling their thumbs. We know some of the greatest musicians and producers and songwriters and artists in the world that had legendary hits, that ain't nobody vibing to them, or they can't, get a record place. They can't get a show. So you see these different things and you say, that's something that we never want to happen once it happened to us. So I just feel like it's the best way to be, man. And we're all the same at the end of the day. We're all the same. God has blessed us all with gifts and talents. Whether you tap into yours is on you. Obviously, we tapped into ours, and that breeds, a certain level of hate sometimes too, because people get jealous and mad at us for living our lives and walking in our destiny. And like you said, building legacy where you have the same tools and the same gifts and talents that God provided you with that I can't do, that you should be walking in, you know? So don't get mad at us for you settling in life for that 9 to 5. And it's nothing wrong with 9 to 5, but I'm just saying, I just believe we all should be living off of our gifts and talents. We should all be doing what we love and are passionate about. When I go speak to these kids at schools, one of the things that I always say is, yo, every day I'm blessed to wake up excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the day. I can have nothing planned. I can have nothing on the schedule, nothing on the calendar. Who am I going to connect with today? What song is going to come together today? What track am I going to make together today? Are we going on tour? What city am I going to be in for the next day?
Right.
Rehearsing. What new songs am I learning? Like, what new school am I visiting? Who is going to purchase a copy of the signed book today? Who am I going to network with on Instagram? Like, what interview, what conversation am I going to have to be able to share my story to the world? This is the life that we live. Now, it's always ups and downs to any life.
Absolutely.
Right? There's challenges that I'm dealing with right now in this moment personally, and I'm sure you can relate to that as well. So it's not to say that we don't have the struggles and the challenges, the financial burdens, it's like 10 people that owe me a check right now. And all I can do is wait with the thought process of, well, the money is there.
Right.
Just hasn't gotten to me yet.
Right.
Because it could have been, I just said this to myself, I want to say 2 or 3 days ago. I just out loud to myself, like, it could have been the other way where I have to create an opportunity for me to bring in the bag.
Right.
That can take however long it needs to take.
Right.
Versus, all right, they owe me money. Is it ready yet? Check not on. We're waiting. At least it's there and it's on the way. Whenever it gets to me, it gets to me. It is what it is. I always say we can't stress or stress out about what we can't control. Whenever it gets here is when it gets here. So, but it's still a blessing every day to wake up to do what you love. It's no greater feeling.
Absolutely. The last thing about music, if anybody can clear this up for us, because I have this conversation with the homies all the time. What's the difference between a beat maker and a producer?
So I used to say, you know, it's like, don't call me no beat maker, I'm a producer. Like,
right.
You know, back in the day, maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe 20, you would, you know, we producers, man. We making records, we building records, we're going into the studio, we're building with the artists, we're creating the record with them, we're making joints on the spot, we're doing overdubs, like, but it's a whole nother world now, right? So I would have to say, well, to talk about the difference first, and then I'll tell you what I consider myself as. A producer, you know, it's one thing to make the beat, it's one thing to create the track, right? It's not what a producer is, though.
Right.
To produce is to produce. Think of the word, right? So if you're an artist and I'm a producer, oh no, we in the room together.
Right.
We in the room together, we building. I'm a part of your writing process. I'm a part of your melody process, even if I'm not a songwriter, because that I'm not.
Right.
But I'm part of the process. I'm part of the cadence.
Hold on. You don't write songs, bro?
No. Lyrically, never.
I thought you were a songwriter all this time.
Nope. Production only.
Wow.
Music only.
That's crazy. I didn't know
Never
that.
written a song a day in my life. Nope. That is not my area. Now I'm a melody master. So I'm, but no, I never put a pen to the pad and placed any songs writing wise ever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Never knew.
All production. So, you know, like, again, so it's you in the lab with the artist, you know, once the track is laid down, once the song is laid down, how can he or she say that better? How can they deliver that better? Now it's time for the mixing, you know what I'm saying, with the levels of the vocals, with the level of the tracks and balancing everything out. Now it's the mastering. So it's all of this that's all in one. And you don't have to be an expert at each thing, because obviously there's an engineer that you would sit down and work alongside that can fine tune whatever you want to fine tune. But that's, to me, is producing, right? The other side of that is the beat making, which is you in your studio, you in your living room, you in the bathroom, you in the airplane, and you're creating the track.
Right.
It's making beats. So if that's all you've done, if that's all you do, not to take anything away from you, that doesn't make you a producer. Technically,
Right.
When you place on albums, well, I produced this record. Technically, yes, but when you get down to the nitty gritty of what a record producer or a music producer is, that's not what you are. Like technically, right? So fast forward in regards to where I'm at with that today. Nowadays, technology is taking over. I went into a studio, I want to say last week, big bro, in the city for a panel. And they had 2 rooms, and the room that they had an SSL. And I went in there and I just stood there for like 5 minutes, dolo, and just quiet and just looked around and just messed with a few knobs and, you know, and I just was like, bruh. And somebody was like, I think my barber asked me 2 days ago, yo, when last time you been into the studio? I said, bro, I ain't been in the studio in like 15 years. And he's like, what? I said, it doesn't exist. I mean, there's studios that's here.
Yeah.
But in today's world with technology, it does not exist. Like me and Chris Brown probably got about 50 records together, bro. I've never been in the studio with him ever in life.
That's crazy.
Ever in life.
That's nuts.
It's just it's a transactional thing.
Yeah.
Where here's the folder of beats. You know, whether it's him directly, his manager, his engineer, 9 times out of 10 is the engineer. The engineer pulls up the beats while he's in the lab. He writes. The engineer will hit me and say, hold this one, hold that one, hold this one. Cool. I can hear back 5 months later, like, yo, remember? I'm like, yeah. All right, cool. He's gonna use those 3 on the album. Never heard the song. Never was a part of the mix. I hear the song when the world hears the song.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So when we talk about producing and beat making today, like I feel like today is different. Like everybody is not Timberland that can go in the lab with him. Everybody is not, you know, Metro Boomin that can, you know, go in the studio with Future and make a whole album together while they're in the room together. Now it's like, yo, send that joint.
Right.
Send them joints. Send the pack.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And that's not producing, you know? So I would say the majority of my records that I've created for the last 20 years have been created in that way.
Wow.
And I love the records. I think the records are dope. I'm grateful for the records. I'm grateful for the opportunity. But there's moments where I kind of sit down and listen and say, yo, what if I was there? I would have said, try like that. Or try this like this. I would have turned that up or down. Or turned this down a little bit. I would have made a drop go right there. I would have. There's so many things that could have been done that I never had a chance to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's kind of, you kind of have to, what's the word I'm looking for? You kind of like got to take it on your chin. It's like, because at the end of the day, you want to work.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to say, oh, well, if I ain't going to, you know, because there's producers that's like that though.
Yeah.
Oh, now you ain't getting no folder from me, bro. You ain't getting no pack. Like you ain't, if we ain't getting in the studio together, you ain't getting nothing. Now there's producers that are in the position that can stand on that, right? I don't think, even if I was in a position, whether financially or whether I'm the hottest, you know, king out, I still won't move like that because it's like that artist might not be comfortable being in the room with you. That artist might catch a vibe over here. Like I'll tell you a little quick story. We'll move on. You know, I know Puff got a lot going on right now. Prayers up to my brother. That's at the end of the day, that's still our brother, still a legend, still an icon. That's between him and God. You know, to go through, you know, prayers up for all that have experienced anything with him, especially Cassie. We saw that. And this is the first time I'm actually saying something about it. Like we saw the video. Anybody else, we gotta wait and see. But we saw the video, so prayers up to Cassie and her family and her peace and mind in regards to what she's dealt with. But at the end of the day, like we learned so much from him. You know what I'm saying? And we experienced so much, and he created so much greatness. So Daddy's House, which you've been to, you know, studio. Biggie recorded there, Faith, Mace, Puff's albums, like Jay, everybody's recorded there. He would want me to pull up and create, you know, in the studio. And every time I pulled up and created at Daddy's House, a studio, I could not catch a vibe. Wow. Could not. Everything, I wouldn't say it was trash, but it's like, he ain't like nothing I made out of there, or ain't nothing placed on no albums from anything that I made out of there. But at the crib, at my home studio that I don't got the SSL with all the big speakers and the big bunch, my little setup. Where I felt most comfort at was where the hits were made. You know, so there's no right or wrong. There's no rules to it. That's what I love about music. It's expression. It's freedom to be able to express yourself however you want to express yourself with no rules. Either the world is going to accept it or they don't. And if they do, cool. And if they don't, cool, hit them with another one.
Absolutely.
You know, but that's the world we live in. And like I said, you know, if you want to work, man, you sometimes just kind of, you whether you want to or not, you kind of got to get down with the program.
Yeah, gotta adjust.
You know?
And clearly, you know, I tell people all the time, documentation beats conversation any day. You got the hardwood behind you, bro. So almost working, my guy.
Right,
yo,
right.
Let's pivot, man, because I'm gonna let you go. Cause I really could talk to you all day. But you got a book out.
Yes, sir.
And is this your first book or your second?
Yeah, first one. Yep, first one.
What in the world possessed you? Because I remember when I did my first book, my first book is called "You're Not My Daddy: Guidelines to Becoming a Successful Stepfather." Because when I got with my wife, she my daughter was 6 months old.
Wow.
So she was my stepdaughter, but 33 years later, that's my baby.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It was something that was out of the box. You know, people were looking at me like I was crazy because everybody knew me as Jason the drummer. I'm like, nah, there's something else in me. Now, on my third book, I got 2 anthologies, both hit #1 on Amazon, international and national, you know what I'm saying? And working on my 4th one, I know what made me do it and what I felt was the need in the marketplace. Because I don't think God just called me to the church. I believe that God called me to make an impact on the marketplace. And I see you doing the same thing, but it's just, what made you say book is the next thing? What made you say that?
You know, going to the schools and speaking to the kids, I've done that for years, like years upon years. And it was just something that I always loved doing, and just, you know, encouraging them to find their love and find their passion, and chase their dreams and live their dreams as of what I'm doing, you know, right now. And I've always felt like, you know, sometimes when you walk into those buildings and be a part of the assemblies and speak to them in classrooms or in the gymnasium or in the auditorium, you know, everybody's not listening. Everybody's listening, you know, it's a lot of distractions. I was definitely one of those kids that loved distracting the class. I can't even get mad at, you know, big class clowns. I can't even be mad. So I think it was the thought of wanting to leave them something tangible, you know, that they can refer back to. Like, yes, you're hearing about my story, you're hearing about my life, you're hearing about what I'm doing, what I've done, how I've gotten here. But the moment you walk out of that school building or that classroom or that auditorium or that gymnasium, you can forget everything I said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a few that maybe something that I said will stick with them, that they'll remember throughout the day, you know, regardless of the distractions that they deal with. So I'm like, if I can leave them something to refer back to, you know, to when they're doubting themselves or when, you know, they need something to pick them up or just inspiration or encouragement and say, well, Amadeus did it, man. Let me pick up his book, which is only, you know, and I created it for the kids. So it's 26 pages, a nice challenge of a read, because I started playing drum in 4th grade, so I targeted it for 4th grade and up.
Nice.
And, you know, obviously, with being humbly speaking, with the fan base that I have musically, you know, everyone loved the book. You know, whether adults, older people, kids. So I just stopped calling it a children's book and was like, book. Because at the end of the day, it's the story, and each page is pictures on each page. Of my actual self as a youngin' and as a kid that my mom had saved. So it's pictures on every page. So I'm like, it's 26 pages, man. Like, I'm not a big reader like that. I'm more visual. I like to see things. I said to myself, if I'm going to create something, I would want to create something that I would pick up and read, because I'm not really a reader like that. So it's 26 pages, straight to the point. And that was the idea. And it came about during the pandemic when we were home, you know, unable to move around and do what we love and fly here and there. So I'm like, all of this time that I got, we might as well go ahead and lock in and get this done. It got done during the pandemic, you know, released it. I didn't go the Amazon route. I kind of wanted to be fully independent with everything. I wanted to get all the bread. Like, I didn't want to split nothing. I wanted everybody to come and get it directly from me. I wanted to sign all of the books. You know, so that's kind of the route that I went. But it's been a blessing, man, and a level of support, especially for everyone that purchased, all of the schools and principals that would order low 500 and 300, and to make sure that all their students would get it. And I signed each and every single one of them too.
That's amazing.
You know, so it's a blessing, man. I appreciate you, you know, bringing that up.
Maybe you can put me on to some G, because I want to do that with the next book. I don't want to because you know how it is when you put
Yeah.
a stick or anything on these DSPs, man. They killing you. And
yeah, that's why I ain't doing it.
If you don't keep that product in the trunk, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that hand-to-hand combat, you ain't gonna really see no bread. So I want to do this next one totally independent. So maybe
Right.
you can give me some direction.
Yeah, and all I did was, because you know, obviously I get the books from you know, the printer.
Yeah.
And I would just always make sure that I had, you know, copies of books. And I really wasn't good with the in and out of the trunk thing. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, my call was like, yo, you gotta, and that just wasn't how I moved with it. I would promote it online, which I haven't promoted online in a month. So I gotta, you know, put it back up online and really push it like that. But I knew like my niche was the school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're buying 300 and 400 out of pop. So it's like, why am I over here trying to move this one book? Not saying it don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, when I can come over here, target the schools and get these big orders. So yeah, I was just getting it directly from the printer and just moved it and just moving everything on my own. You know, like I would have a case of books at the house always. So when people individually order it, would do it through the website. And have my man set that up with the website where you order the book, you write on the website who you want me to write the book out to. It leaves your address. So I would just get the email, and it will show me right there in one email. Who to write the book out, the address, boom, boom, go mail it out.
Yeah.
Clockwork.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no real, you know, I know, and I was new to it too, so it wasn't no real science behind it. I was just getting straight from the printers and just hustling it and moving it myself. And I just didn't want Amazon or anybody getting a percentage. I just, you know, it's the easier way to go. But I'm like, and there's a lot more work the way I'm doing it.
Yeah. But
man, I want all the money.
Yeah, and I'm really harping on this because I want cats to know there's so many ways that you can pivot, man. Like being a DOE vendor and in the school system.
Yes, sir.
There's a bag there.
Absolutely.
So I just got my vendor license like about a year ago.
Nice.
With my clothing line. So I'm doing uniforms and yo, I know what you're talking about. So
yes, sir.
Different kind of bag. and with the schools,
they gotta spend it.
They gotta spend it. That's the thing I'm telling you.
They gotta spend it, bro. So your numbers can be your numbers.
I need to plug you with my sister because my sister's the principal. And
that's our best friend.
Yeah.
For what we do,
principals
are our best friend. They are the decision makers. They yay and nay, whether you can come in here and do what you do. They cut, you know, they give their secretary the green light, like order 500 books, boom, boom, boom. Right. So the principals is where it's at. So absolutely.
And she's big on she got the illest still drum band in Brooklyn.
Wow.
Yeah, they nice. So that's a no-brainer. So I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna connect.
Thank you, my brother.
But yo, the last thing I'm gonna do, whenever we have people on the show, I always leave the stage to my guests to speak from their heart to our listeners. Anything you want, just drop some nuggets just to encourage our listeners, to let them know that regardless of how tough it may be right now, that there's hope. And the floor is yours, bro. You can flow.
Okay, that deal. Well, first off, I'm honored to be here. Grateful to my brother, Pastor Jay, for allowing me to be here today to share my story. It's definitely been a long journey. This is 25 plus years in music, in the music business, as a musician, as a producer. And, just a little kid, from the Bronx and the projects that, was surrounded by a lot of negativity. And I used the negativity that surrounded me to encourage me and to be fuel to my fire in regards to me living my dreams, in which is what I'm doing today. God has given each and every single one of us a bunch of gifts and a bunch of talents. And I just feel like it's up to you to tap into that. It's up to you to find your love and find your passion, to nurture those gifts, I like to say, shoot in the gym, to develop those gifts and to make your gifts as amazing as it can be before you share, those gifts with the world, which is what I'm blessed to do today. So for those that are tuned in, to all of the musicians out there, the drummers, the keyboardists, the piano players, the guitarists, the bassists, the singers, the songwriters, the producers, whoever it is, the creators, the dancers, whatever you are, whatever you do, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It ain't easy. It's far from easy, but I'm doing it, and I'm doing it each and every single day. And the love and the passion is why I'm doing it. It's why I never gave up. It's why I never quit. So each and every single one of y'all that is tuned in today, you have it in you. You have it in you. You know, I always say choose faith over fear. You know, you can't be both. You can have faith and fear at the same time. You got to choose one. So I always choose faith over fear. And I'd say you're going to be a little nervous. You're going to be afraid, but do it afraid, you know, do it nervous, you know, because at the end of the day, when you accomplish it and when you live these dreams and those dreams that you dreamt of all your life, it's one of the most amazing feelings in the world. So again, big shout out to Pastor Jay for having me. I pray that this conversation is inspiration, it's motivation, is a blessing to you. It's definitely been a blessing to me. King Amadeus, Big Bronx Energy. You heard?
Yo, everybody, that's my bro, my guy, King Amadeus, brother. I thank you so much, man. This has got to be one of the best interviews I've ever done, because you are one of my biggest inspirations on the planet, bro. I honor you. I celebrate you, man. Everything that you're doing. Keep setting the bar high, bro, and keep going. Don't let nothing stop you, man, because you are making a difference, my guy. And I honor God for everything that he's doing for you and your family, man. If people want to get in contact with you, they want to book you, you know, like they want to produce, do something for them, how do they get in contact with you?
My Instagram is Amadeus, AMADEUS, PBM standing for Platinum Boy Music. So again, Instagram is Amadeus, PBM. My website is www.imkingamadeus.com. Once again, that's www.imkingamadeus.com. I am a master on Instagram. So I do get all of the DMs. Excuse me. I do try to respond to all of the DMs because I'm crazy like that. But I feel like there'd be so many different opportunities and moments on Instagram and in your DMs, whether it's fans showing love. I like to reach out and respond to everybody. I know what it feels like to be a fan of someone, to be inspired by, and never be able to touch them or see them or come in contact with them. So I don't take that lightly. So reach out. If it's about music and it's about business, come with your business. Come with your business together. Come with your A game. It's going to cost you now. You know, I might give you a Pastor J discount if you mention it. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to cost you something.
It's going to cost you something.
It's going to cost you something.
Yo, that's what's up, man. Yo, again, man, thank you for coming to the conversation. And again, all of our listeners everywhere on Facebook, on Jesus Christ, iHeartRadio,
yes, sir.
Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, everywhere that we are. Big shout out to all you guys for your support. And y'all, anytime you see Amadeus do anything, order the book, get his music, support him. He's a brother that's from where we're from, but he's on his way and then actually landed somewhere where all of us want to get to, and that's at a place of greatness, not a place of purpose, yes, doing what God called you to do. So, bro, thank you for coming to the conversation. I
love you, my brother. Love you, my brother.
I can one. Right. Yo, that was my brother, King Amadeus. That was probably one of the best interviews I've ever done. He comes from where I come from. He's doing what I love to do, man. And yo, he's an example to all of us that you can do anything that you want to do. You can be whatever you know God called you to be, and nobody can hold you back but you. So with that being said, I want y'all to know, again, we are about to release our first act from All Things Music, and I'm going to go to her promo real quick. I want you to stay tuned because this is going to be crazy, and I need everybody to support this single. It's called Move, and this is from Miss Alex Sells. Check this out. Miss Alex Sells, get ready for it, y'all. It's coming. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Kingdom Conversation. I can't wait for y'all to see who's coming up next. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.
Switch it.